CMPRadio.net. It's the station. CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
Got it, Bobby.
What's up, everybody, man? It's your boy, Uncle P. If you would like to be a sponsor of CMPRadio.net, man, hit us up at info, that's INFO, at CMPRadio.net. It's the station.
Cultivating mature positivity. CMPRadio.net.
Here we go, folks. We are live. Good Monday night here in the middle of the summer 2023. Dave Burman, DELCO Sports 360.com. And special guest is the one and the only, a very popular guy, very successful man, Barry Swanson. He is the owner of Train Hard and Win Big. You live in Delaware now, Barry. So first of all, let's get into, before we talk about the great state championship, Glen Mills boys track and field teams, among other things you've done over the years. Tell us about Train Hard, Win Big.
Train Hard, Win Big is a gym that I have in Wilmington, North Wilmington. I've been there for 14 years, and I train athletes and adults. I train a lot of shot putters there and discus throwers and a lot of track kids, but I train kids for all sports, and I train adults, and I've been doing that there for 14 years, but I've been doing that for 35 years. I mean, when I was at Glen Mills, people started asking me to train their kids on top of working with the Glen Mills kids.
Right.
And that's when I started training other people.
But there's a lot of guys that I know that know you. Daniel Patica, of course, he helped you out.
Patica.
Danny and his mom loves you. Everybody loves you. I haven't heard any complaints.
You will.
All right, no complaints yet. But again, Barry, I did that post. I was so fascinated a couple of weeks ago. It was right in the middle of the track and field season, and Chester was making some noise, and Haverford girls won the team state championship.
Yes.
You know, and it's tough to do in the state of Pennsylvania. And great job by Shake Allen, the girls track and field coach at Chester, the boys coach also, unbelievable job, Jamie. And we got an individual state champ, Chester High girls this year, which was awesome. So there was a lot of excitement going on, and I said, I'm going to do a post on Delaware County High School track and field, and I found the incredible history. Boys track and field state champs, PIAA team state champs from 1993 to 2000, all teams from Delaware County. 93 Glen Mills, AAA, 94 Strathaven, Bob Jessam, right? I think it was Bob, the head coach.
I'm not sure when Bob left Penwood to go to Strathaven.
But at 94 Strathaven, AAA. 95 Glen, 3 years in a row, Glen Mills with you. 95, 96, 97, Penwood 98, and Glen Mills again, 99 and 2000. Just an unbelievable period of high school track and field in Delaware County, winning PIAA state championships, especially on the boys' side.
We lost. 2 of those losses were by a half a point was one, and a point was another. That's hard to do.
Yeah, it's amazing, and just an incredible history you have. How did you end up in Pennsylvania? I know you're from New York State, and what part of the state are you from? You sound like you're like
I'm from Jamestown, New York. Jamestown is all the way over here. New York City's all the way over there.
You near Buffalo?
I'm in between Buffalo and Erie, Pennsylvania. We played all the Buffalo schools in football. All my buddies are from Buffalo because I went to Edinboro. Edinboro's 20 minutes from Erie, was an hour from Jamestown. So the team was made up mainly of Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And then we had a bunch of kids from Florida on our team.
Good combination, because working in Central PA radio, I've had a chance to announce games out in the Erie area, Edinboro high school games, but I know about Edinboro. And Kenny Tate, you remember him, obviously, JP, legendary basketball player for Chester High, graduated in 1998. He went to Edinboro and became an All-American. Kenny Tate. So there you go. You got 2. Now you're pretty much a Delco guy to me, and you're in a couple of Hall of Fames. And it's I know this is about you and what you've done, but it's all about the kids when it comes to Glen Mills. I just can't believe that is not an easy job to coach and get everybody on board at Glen Mills High School, because the kids come from different backgrounds all over.
Yeah, it wasn't very easy. A lot of people thought that we just had it easy. We had the best athletes, and we had a lot of good athletes, but hardly any of them ever ran track before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like, it was a quick program to get, and the thing is that kids were only there from 9 to 18 months at that time. Sometimes we would get kids that would stay for 2 or 3 years. We would scholarship them and they could stay. So some of my better ones over the years did that. You know what I mean? But not very often. That's why that we won 11 indoor state championships during that time, and it was easier to win indoor because we would have kids get discharged from the school. We won 11 indoor state championships and 7 outdoor state track and field titles.
And that's a PIAA. It's a Shippensburg. They hold them.
And we still hold the record for scoring the most points in the state meet, and we still hold the 4x4 record, 3:12.76 for the state of Pennsylvania. And my hat goes off to Dave Stewart, because he ran the hell out of them kids, and they all that 3:12.76. That's a pretty damn good time.
Yeah, it's just not you, Barry. Barry Swanson, legendary Glen Mills head boys track and field coach. Jamestown, New York. You went to Edinboro. You had a heck of you were a lineman. I did a little research. I was trying my best. I have a full-time job, so it's tough to do the research. But a lineman at Edinboro from 79 to 82. And tell us about your experience up there. That's a tough Division II program.
I started all 4 years. I was freshman of the year. But I'll be honest, the second day there at camp, I called my mom. I said, "Mom, come get me." She said, "Son, I'm not coming to get you. You ain't allowed to quit." You know what I mean? Because I was 5th string right then. 2 days later, we put the pads on. I was 2nd string. I ended up starting the second game and played the rest of the season as a freshman. So I played 2 years D-line and 2 years O-line. They asked me if I wanted to switch to offensive line, and I did. The last football game of my life, we lost. And I haven't thought about that recently, but I couldn't get that out of my head for years after leaving Edinboro. We lost to East Stroudsburg, and that's when they had Reichenbach, the linebacker, who ended up playing for the Eagles.
Yeah.
But it was a close game. We blew it. If we would have won that game, we would have been going to Southwest Texas to play them. And that's when they only had 8 teams in the playoffs.
So you made the NCAA tournament?
No, we did not make the tournament.
Almost.
Almost doesn't count.
I know. You had to win.
Yes, we had to win the last game.
Yeah, so that was PSAC is what it's called now.
PSAC, Pennsylvania State Athletic.
Yeah. That's a tremendous conference where a bunch of Chester kids are playing D2 football.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with D3 football. You got to be good to be, especially to be a contributor on a team in football. But track and field, wow. I mean, I don't know what else to say, but we do have to, it's just amazing here. I am with an absolute legend, Barry, and you have a presence and people just love you, man. It was when I made that post.
I don't know about that.
You can't please everybody, though.
All right.
So from Edinburgh, your graduating year would have been 1983, correct?
Yes.
All right. So the year
I graduated in 82. I started at Glen Mills in 83, I believe.
Oh, okay. So after that great career, how did you get the job at Glen Mills? And I think then it was just a second year high school.
Pardon me?
I think it was just a second year high school or PIAA school.
Yes, I believe that's right. I had 3 interviews. I was married at the time, and my wife then was pregnant. And the only school that would cover the medical bills, the only job that would cover the medical bills was Glen Mills. You know what I mean? They offered me the job, and I said yes.
Yeah, but you were way out in northwestern PA. So where was the hookup?
Pardon me?
How'd you get hooked up?
Oh, there was a letter in the football stadium hanging on the bulletin board. You need a job, Glen Mills, blah, blah, blah. So I called and set up the interview, and that's what happened.
So you were assistant coach to start off.
Yeah, pretty quick. I was an assistant coach. I was the throws coach for a while.
And you were working at the school full time.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
What were you doing there?
I worked in the unit at night as a counselor.
Counselor, okay. And
And
that's
then I became a senior counselor, and then I became a team leader.
and then you could see who was the head coach back then for Glen Mills?
Robert Williams, he was my boss, Bob Williams.
All right, and that's it's hard to believe that's like 40 years ago. Isn't that amazing? It seems like yesterday.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Because I'm older than you, actually. But
How old are you?
I'm 65.
Okay, all right.
I'll be 66. So
You're a little older than me.
yeah, a little bit. You and Ed Bailey. It was great to have Ed on. And we'll talk about you working with local athletes in all sports and helping them to become better athletes. So you're at Glen Mills and like immediate success with the track program. Of course, no girls at Glen Mills, just a boys' school. And it's for kids that got, minor offenses, right? And for the most part, how would you...
might as well tell the truth. They weren't just minor offenses.
Oh, I always thought it was a minor...
They weren't minor offenses. We had gang kids from all over the entire country. We knew every gang. Now, they weren't allowed to represent at Glen Mills, so we had Bloods, we had Crips, we had Vice Lords. I mean, I know all the gang signs and all that crazy stuff, you know what I mean? Because that's what we were dealing with, and we had to attempt to break them of all that crap, and that was hard. You know what I mean? Because they're going to support their boys in the gang. And our theory at Glen Mills was, and this is from Mr. Farinoa, God rest his soul, that man taught me so much, it's crazy, but we believe that they were good kids. They just came from a bad environment, and all they were doing is doing what they had to do to survive in that environment. You change your environment, you give them positive reinforcement, and you hold them accountable for their actions, and they will change.
I saw it going to those legendary Chester Glen Mills State playoff games in basketball. Your crowds were the greatest. They're all around. You went to the state finals when you finally broke through beating Chester 90-91. You guys
took the whole campus.
The whole campus.
And at that point, population was probably 850. At one point, population was over 1,000.
But you would bring the kids in very mannerly.
Yeah.
You had a bunch of, I used to call them guards. But we were counselors. Okay, but you guys
we were past Division II football players.
All
That's
you guys.
what we were.
And including Bob Fulcher, was he considered a counselor?
Yeah, he was a basketball player. We hired athletes. Athletes know how to deal with kids. Athletes don't take no crap from kids.
Corey Sheridan. Okay.
They're all,
okay,
Corey Sheridan was a speedster running back.
Guy I went to high school, he was more the television guy, Fran Desmond. Graham Desmond.
He was the radio guy, wasn't
Yeah,
he? Graham Desmond.
Graham, his brother I graduated friend at old Nether
didn't he
Providence
run
High
the
School.
radio station
Yeah,
up?
he's thanks to Graham, I had the videos of those unbelievable Chester Glen Mills basketball games. Yeah.
Okay.
So Graham.
He hooked you up.
Yeah, yes, he did. And the crowds were, whatever the counselors did, I mean, those kids were mannerly. We got the fever. We're hot. We can't be stopped. They were great singers.
Yeah,
There was
you know
so
what?
much talent.
They took a lot of pride in what they did. They never took pride in anything before, and we gave them an opportunity to excel, and so many of them did. I have kids that still call me, text me, messenger me, and they're in their 40s now, or a little bit younger, a little bit older. You know what I mean? And some of them didn't turn around. Lots of them are in prison now. You know what I mean? But
Right.
that's the way. If you can change a few of them, that's better than none. That's for sure.
Glen Mills High School, located in Glen Mills. It's out in the country. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. It's not there anymore. We'll touch on that a little bit later.
It's still there. Now, is it going to do anything? Who knows? Well, we'll see. We're not gonna talk about
the
that.
school facility, everything's.
The facility is still there.
They haven't sold it?
People rent out and this is for Glen Mills. If you're a coach and you need a court to play on and stuff like that, Glen Mills rents out their pool, their gym, and all that stuff to outside people.
Somebody was asking me.
They still have track meets there during the indoor season.
Okay, well.
At Padua, we used to go practice on their track. Yeah,
So that's right. You're at Padua Academy down in Wilmington.
Yes.
For the last few years. You're the assistant.
I'm an assistant coach.
Girls or boys
I don't
track
have
and
time to
field?
be a head coach
Yeah, track and-
anymore. And the head coach, her name is Marnie Junta, and she's great. And I do not, she puts so much time into that, what she does. I know how much time she puts into it. You know what I mean? I just coach the sprinters, the jumpers, and the throwers. A little plug for them. We've won the last 12 outdoor state championships, and we just lost to Tatnall, the indoor state meet. Good job, Tatnall. But we had won 11 in a row.
Padua.
Padua Academy, yeah.
Is it just girls or is it?
It's just girls.
Oh, just a girls' school. Okay, well, thank you. 11 in a row. And down there, all the private, like Pennsylvania, private schools and the public
Tatnall's
schools.
good. I mean, there's some good competition down there.
That's amazing.
You know
You've
what I mean?
won.
I think
You have a lot of rings.
there's been a bunch of years that Padua could have won the Pennsylvania State Championship.
How big's the school?
It's small. Padawa's small. I think the population is only 400. It might even be less than 400.
For Padua, how do you get the athletes? You can't.
I don't get very many good athletes. You know, we get a few. We have a few right now that are pretty darn good. You know what I mean? But Marnie and cross country, our distance runners are amazing.
Well, just like, let's go back to Glen Mills again. Okay, the kids had some problems and they got arrested. Is it?
Yeah.
They were, okay.
Yeah.
And then they come to Glen Mills to rehab and become better citizens. How did you know a kid was going to be a good athlete? Just because he got in trouble and he's from the hood, as you say?
All right, so I already thought about this. This is what we did. So for a whole week we had tryouts, and each unit would send us kids, and we would have 400 kids at tryouts, and we would run through a battery of tests. It was a minimum of 10 different tests. We would do a sprint test, a hurdle test, a high jump test, a long jump test, a distance test. We had all these tests, and we would score it, and then I would rank them. And then at the end of the week, we sat down as a coaching staff. I had 10 coaches. All right, we had over 120 kids on the team, and we would fight over who gets who. And then I would make the decision on, okay, so you want him for sprints and you want him for jumps. You guys are going to share him. You get him on Monday, Wednesday. You get him on Tuesday, Thursday. You know what I mean? So we broke it down like that. And then I would let Rich Nicholas was the distance coach. He won a plethora of Del Valle championships in cross country. He would always hide kids on me. He would have I'd say, Rich, you're allowed 40 kids. He'd have 60. You know what I mean? So Rich, I'm giving you a week to cut that down to 40. Well, you're never going to know if they can, because it takes time to develop distance runs.
And this is in the early when you got there. Okay.
Yes, and Rich was there way before me. Rich was coaching cross country before I ever got there. So then we would divide them up, and that's how we did it. And then we would take our top 40 kids who weren't on powerlifting. A lot of our throwers were on powerlifting, which was fine because we would share practice time. But the kids that weren't on powerlifting, the sprinters, the jumpers, and the distance kids that we were our top 40, we lifted weights Mondays and Thursdays in the morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And that made like high school track and field these days, kids don't lift weights, all right? And I'm not talking, we're not doing maximum effort, but we're doing injury prevention stuff. We're doing stuff to get stronger. We're doing stuff so you can strike the ground harder and run, so you can jump further. You know what I mean? That made a major difference in those top 40 kids that we had, the lifting that we did. I didn't like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and neither did the coaches. You know what I mean? And the kids didn't like it either. But it made a hell of a difference, especially when we most often only had kids for one season. Now, if we're gonna have a kid for 4 years, we got a whole lot more time to do what we're doing. You know what I mean? But 1 year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years. You know what I mean? But most often, it's 1 year we had the kids.
So the Del Val in track and field was loaded in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I don't have all the history. I had the state championship history, but you had Lamont Farrell.
Pardon me?
You had Penwood.
Oh, yeah.
Penwood. Yeah,
Penn was loaded, yeah.
They were tough. Chester, obviously.
Chester was very good.
Yep. And
but we learned that you win track meets with numbers. You know what I mean? So we won like over 100 dual meets without losing a dual meet. We tried to get Willingboro, New Jersey to run us in a dual meet. They wouldn't do it because they knew we would beat them.
All right, that's scary.
Yeah, we didn't have like the 1 year that Penwood won the state meet with Leroy Burrell. He won the 100, the 200, the long jump, and the triple jump. We weren't going to beat them at the state level, but we beat that team in a dual meet.
Amazing. Absolutely incredible. So now we go to the 87 season, 86-87. You win your first ever PIAA state championship with Glen Mills.
Right. So the first time we ever won a state meet, I was the throws coach, and Marty Perkins won the shot put and the discus. So there's 20 points. A guy by the name of Otis, I forget Otis Smith was his name. He was fifth in the 100, and then we were second in the 4x1. So we scored 30 points and we tied Ben Salem. So that was our first state title. It was a tie, but it was a state title.
Yeah, you'll take it. You'll take it, especially in the state of Pennsylvania. Then how'd you guys, 88, 89, the basketball team was Bobby Robinson, all those guys, and Turquin Mott. Yeah. And it was like hot. That was at Chester, Glen Mills. They play 3-4 times a year. Tommy Mann, the pride of Chester, was the coach. So you got along, obviously, you coaches work. What sports did Glen Mills have? Basketball, track and field, cross country.
Yeah, they had swimming.
Football, obviously.
They had lacrosse. See, those sports, they weren't very good. Like, we weren't that good at swimming. We weren't that good at lacrosse because these kids didn't grow up playing lacrosse. But we had every sport represented. You know what I mean? Like, we had a golf team. Well, they got a golf course there now. You know what I mean? So we had every sports team.
So 80, the Glen Mills basketball team, 90, 91 back-to-back state champs, and then you guys started an incredible run, starting with 93, winning 6 state championships up to 2000. PIAA team state championships, the Glen Mills Battling Bulls.
And during that time, we won. We won 11 indoor state championships. Like I said, it was.
Where do they hold them? State College, right? Penn State.
For years, the state meet was at Lehigh.
1
year was at Bucknell.
All right. So 11 indoor, and then 7 outdoor total.
Yeah.
And you were part of the program.
Yes.
How did you every year? Just about. You had Strathaven, as we mentioned in there. You had Penwood in there, and I don't know how you did it.
You remember St. James, right?
Oh, yeah.
So St. James was our nemesis for the county meet.
Yeah, their last year, summer of '93, they closed.
They didn't do PIAA, but they were in the Delaware County Association. So that was our major competition for the county meet was St. James, and that was in the early '90s, late '80s. Then when did they go? When did they stop?
Summer of '93. It was the last year, '92, '93.
And I have a good friend, Jamo Atkins. He went to St. James. He worked at Glen Mills. He coached for me. I train his daughters now.
Jamo?
His daughters, yeah, you know Jamo?
Oh, yeah.
His daughter, Layla, got second in the 8th grade nationals this year in the shot put. She threw 34 feet and competed for the varsity at, now why am I going to forget this now?
Well, he won a couple state his son won a couple state championships, St. Joe's Prep.
Yes, his son went to St. Joe's, yes.
Yeah, St. Joe's Prep. So I had no idea, and that's, Jamo's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. He was a great athlete back in the day
Yes,
with
he
Brian Warren.
Brian Warren's his buddy.
There you go. So Brian, I know.
Brian Warren worked at Glen Mills too.
Wow.
They all worked at, everybody all the big athletes in the county worked at Glen Mills.
Right. So tell us about the state runs in the 90s. What was it like? Because I was on the radio at that time in Harrisonburg, Virginia. No internet and all that stuff, so I was out of the loop. But you look at the history; it's right there. Glen Mills and those PIAA track and field state champs.
I don't say '93 was the first one, and then we didn't win in '94.
Right.
And I have a feeling we lost by a point. And then 95, we won 96, 97, we lost in 98, and I got a feeling that was the one we lost by a half a point. And then we won in 99 and 2000. Honestly, it's a lot of pressure. Me as the coach, putting pressure on my coaches to get these kids to perform. Knowing that we're the ones to beat. Yeah, you're gonna win this. You know what I mean. And as a head coach, and then even as an assistant coach at Padua, it wears on you because you're supposed to win. You know, and I don't coach to lose. Every kid does not deserve a trophy. All right, let me say that.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Every kid does not deserve a trophy. You deserve a trophy when you win. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
A lot of people think well, okay, and I'll say this, if I didn't start in college in football, I'm not playing scout team. I'm out there to play. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give my 100%, just like when I coach. I coach to win. You know, and all your life lessons are learned from that. The most important thing is winning. And a whole lot of people say, "What? He's great." No. If you don't have an emphasis on winning, why are you coaching? It's about winning. And then you learn your life lessons through taking pride in what you're doing, by learning how to work hard. And when you lose, you suck it up and you come back and you give effort, then you win again.
And this is what you preach, obviously, at what you're doing now.
Yes.
14 years, and it's officially called
Train Hard, Win Big.
Train Hard, Win
Big. We produce
big.
champions. That's what it's
There
about.
you go. I love your website. Great job.
I've had, this past year, I coached Ava Alexander from Ruston. All right, I was her triple jump coach. She won the triple jump as a junior. She was indoor national champion in the triple jump. I taught her how to triple jump when she was in 7th grade, and she started training with me at the gym. Now, she had a great sprint coach for the last few years, Rohan Grant at Ruston. They won a indoor state championship. They didn't win the outdoor this year, but I think they got second. They did great. I trained another girl who was 3rd at indoor nationals in the triple jump. She was at Padua. She now goes to Ocean City, New Jersey. She's a triple jumper, 400 hurdler. So I got kids from all over the place that I train. I've had kids drive an hour and a half to come train with me.
That's amazing.
And I'm not sitting here saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that, all right? But the kids know that I care about them. You know what I mean? And when kids come and train with me, they're going to work hard. You know what I mean? And I'm going to help you learn how to work hard. You know,
A buddy of mine does what you do up in State College, Pennsylvania. His name's Rob Oshinsky, and he has it's called Victory Sports in State College. And he's like you.
I might have even talked to him on the phone.
He's a coal cracker. He's a Shamokin guy, close to where Corey Sheridan's from. I love the coal region.
So Corey Sheridan. I had another guy from Shamokin.
Yeah, right. That's Oshinsky. Corey's from near there. He's it was coal region kids.
Ed Woodbridge.
What's that?
Ed Woodbridge. You don't know him?
Don't know him.
He was a wrestling coach.
Don't know
for
him.
years.
Did you have battles with those great Harrisburg teams back in the day?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were loaded,
Yeah.
and they've fallen off with numbers.
Yeah, they were loaded. They were loaded. You know what? I need my buddy Rich here, the guy that cross country coach. We call him the Rain Man. You know what I mean? Rich is here's your. He doesn't forget anything. He's 70 something now, and he can still throw statistics. He was my stat man.
Right.
He did all the entries for me, and he did all the statistics, and it was amazing the statistics that he still has.
So 2000's your last, that's 23 years ago, your last PIAA team state championship at Glen Mills. And then how many more years did you coach after that, head coach?
I think maybe 2 years. I left the school for a little bit, and I came back a couple years, and then I started it. Then I was an assistant, and that's when I started coaching the jumps and let Brian coach the throws.
Right.
So I got into coaching the jumps. I got bored with the throws. And Glen Mills always sent me where me and my other coaches, I really took advantage of. We all got level 2 certified at Brigham Young University back in the early 90s, late 80s. USA Track and Field level 2. So coaching education plays a major part. People just go out and coach, and I'm like, dude, buy a book. If you don't know what you're doing, buy a book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing. I bought books.
Very good.
And I started reading, and then I started going to clinics that the director would send me to. He sent me all over the country.
Well, you still have the fire and desire right now, because what you're doing is, you probably are overflowed with people that want to come to your place to work out.
Yeah. I don't want to. The business is doing well right now. There's been times that it didn't do that well.
Do you want to give a shout, like a phone number?
Yeah. www.trainhardwinbig.com. Go on my website. You'll see what we do, the numbers there. I'm in North Wilmington. I'm in the same building as Enterprise Rent-A-Car. In the summertime, I have morning time for training and nighttime for training. We train 7 days a week. I'm open 7 days a week. I'm not open all the time. I'm open when I'm training. We do speed work, agility, medicine ball, injury prevention, and we lift for strength, power, and speed.
You have so many schools, Delaware, you're close to Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, right across the river. How do you maintain, just getting time to do what you do?
What do you mean? I coach at Padua. I go to practice Monday,
you have
Wednesday,
a staff.
Fridays, and Saturday.
You have a staff that helps you.
I have like one guy that helps me. I've had staff over the years. It's better off me just what I do is I hire people that I trained for years. There's always someone that I train that comes back and works for me because they know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
So it's a simple process.
They know how I am, and they ain't gonna cry and pout when I yell at them because they ain't doing their job right.
So are you pretty? You're a nice guy, but you're very intense, which is great. But so when you work with the girl or the kid, the girl or boy, you lay the law down right away.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that. All right, so I don't want boys to take this the wrong way, but I love working with girls. They listen. Girls listen, and they're loyal. You know what I mean? I got girls that it's a blessing. But now there's always some bad ones that are. I don't want high maintenance kids. I don't need to. I'm going to teach you how to do something, and you got to learn how to do it, and then you got to go from there. And I'm going to tell you what you're doing for wrong. When you're doing something wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have a bunch of I have as many boys as I do girls, but it seems like from working at Padua Academy, and working with that team, they're a lot more loyal. You know what I mean? And like I said, they listen.
Amazing.
The majority of boys listen, but I was rock-headed. I'm not listening. I know more than the coach. You know what I mean? That's what they think.
But you're very intelligent, man. You can just tell. And it's amazing you have this passion. I have it for broadcasting. And at my job in the warehouse, I'm doing physical labor too. It keeps
It's
us.
good for you. It's gonna keep you alive.
Yeah. I couldn't.
Exercise is like, you want to get rid of diabetes in the United States, get rid of all the crap food we got, and make people start exercising and get rid of all the damn medication.
Yeah, I have a great wife. She cooks for me, so I'm sure you have.
Yes.
You're okay. Where's your wife from?
Philadelphia.
She's a Philly girl.
Northeast Philly.
The Northeast Philly. All right. So what do you? Pretty much that's all you're doing right now. Is
I have a gym, and I coach on the coaching is you don't make money coaching track and field in high school. You get paid a small stipend for the amount of time. I make my living from my business.
and you're busy all the time. I mean, consistently summer.
Yes.
Fall. So you work with all kinds of. You work at any individual, like, how about teams? Teams come in?
The gym isn't that big. I've done some team training with volleyball programs in the summer and stuff like that. No, I don't. But I would I? Yes. You know what I mean? If someone said, "Hey, can you come help me with this and whatever?" Yes, I would do that. But and I'll throw this plug out real quick. I have a lot of shot put and discus throwers. We train on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. All right, and then I'll give this little thought for a bunch of girls out there. If you're tall and you have a little bit of explosiveness, and you think you're going to get a scholarship in basketball and volleyball, you better be pretty damn good. But I'll tell you what, you come to me for a few years, you'll get a scholarship to throw the shot put and discus. Mark my words.
That's incredible. How many? Well, you've coached a lot of PIAA state champs.
I'll throw it. So remember Karen Shump? So Karen Shump won the shot put as a freshman, indoor through 44 feet. Karen won 7 state championships, 3 indoor, 4 outdoor. She went to Oklahoma. She threw 52-4 in the shot put.
What high school?
Pencrest.
Oh, no.
She was a Pencrest girl.
How long ago was this?
Now I'm bad with years. I want to say that's probably 90, 92, 93. It might have been later. Sorry, Karen.
I'm not
good with years.
It goes fast, man. 30 years. Again, I try to follow all the sports, Barry. You know, people call me.
I'm pretty impressed at how much you know.
Well, I remember, especially the basketball. Now the track and field, I'm into it. I mean, there's been
basketball. I couldn't wait to basketball. No, I wanted them to win, but I couldn't wait till they lost so I could get them on the outdoor track team. There's my high jumper, Bobby Robinson.
Yeah, tell me about Bobby.
Bobby was a 48-foot triple jumper.
Oh,
all right.
I know he could.
And then I had David Stocker, who was a basketball player. He threw 58 feet in the shot put. And I had a bunch of basketball players that I turned into throwers. Throwers or jumpers, and every now and then we'd get one that's really fast. So that was a sprint.
How about Bobby Covillion? Do you remember him?
Yes, I do remember him. Why am I not?
Guard basketball.
I know he was basketball.
Big game-winning shot against Chester in the Eastern Final in '91.
I have a feeling he came out for track.
How about Turquin Mott?
Oh yeah, Turquin Mott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about some of the guys? Glen Mills had some guys 6'10", 6'11". They were so athletic.
But who are you referring to?
I can't remember their names now. They played on the 88, 89.
You're talking like Turquin and all.
Turquin, and then, so
I don't remember their names.
Kevin Lewis is one. Kevin Lewis, he was 6'11". Covillion, and they were good. Good, and the fans again were well behaved. What were they like? Track and field? Did the whole school come out to?
No, we never did that.
Just basketball.
No, basketball and football.
And Coach Leary. Did you ever meet him?
coach?
John Leary. I'm on the Delaware County Sports Board, Hall of Fame, and John is our president, and he coached at Penwood back in the day.
Okay.
So he told me about how they would a football game, Penwood versus Glen Mills, and how they had the kids just buses galore came
Right,
in.
we would take the
and they're
whole
like,
campus
people
most
are
of the
going. I'm not going to curse. They're a little scared. They're scared, And then, but your counselors, I used to call them guards. The counselors just had everybody under control. The kids lined up perfectly. It was unbelievable. He said. And Leary is hard to please. So, wow. So Glen Mills, it closed down a couple of years ago. What's the future for
I don't know. I haven't.
people ask me that all the time. I don't
haven't
know.
been involved.
Can you tell a little bit about the story? What happened, or you rather not go there?
I'd rather not talk about that, but all I know is that you want to know why there's so much crime these days? Kids are not being held accountable.
Yeah.
Kids are just being medicated and put on probation. That's what's going on. No, they can do felonies and they get released. You got to be kidding me.
We need a Glen. Is there any other schools around here? Where do those kids
that
in
are
need?
nothing like Glen Mills. No.
No. Hopefully someday something can.
Hopefully someday something like that will happen again.
So Barry, how many people did the PIAA ever come after you guys and say, "Well, we're getting a lot of complaints about are you guys doing things legally?"
No, see what happened was Randy Iverson was the principal during the time that
Yes,
I
I
was there.
remember him.
And Randy Iverson was on the district committee, and I was on the district committee, and we made sure that we followed every rule that you had to follow. We had a different eligibility list for every meet because we had kids becoming eligible. You had to have so many school days. If you hadn't been in school, we followed every rule there was to follow. You know what I mean? Because if we didn't, we were going to be in trouble.
Because you really didn't like the big thing with the recruiting and non-boundary boundary. You guys really didn't recruit.
It's
kids.
not really recruiting. The kid gets in trouble. You walk in and our guys are interviewing them. Oh, so you're a basketball player. Hey, that helps. Oh, you run track, you're a football player, and the kid's in trouble. Hey, we have a good football team. Now, if you want to call that recruiting, you can call it what you want. But that's called going. We had kids from 20 different states. You know what I mean? And if my son had got in trouble and he was a good athlete, would I have wanted him to go to Glen Mills? Hell yes. Hell yes, because that's going to give him a chance to continue to play sports and to get his education and go on to college.
How many kids do you have?
2.
I mean, okay. How they're got to be
40 and 32 or what?
Are they involved in sports?
No.
They live in this area?
No.
And they're proud of their father, obviously. And does you still got family up in Jamestown, New York?
No, my mom and dad passed a while back. No, I don't have any family up there. My brother lives in Lake George. I have a brother in Ohio, and I have a sister that lives in Florida.
So this is it. How long do you want to keep doing this?
Probably until I die. I tell the kids I'm going to be on a scooter.
Hey, you're staying in shape too. You have
I've had 5 joint replacements. Both knees, both hips, and my shoulder.
I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, because I'm still playing basketball. I'm
You have good
65.
genetics. I had poor genetics as far as bones go.
Yeah, well, keeping the weight off has really helped. I mean, because I was up 235, 240 for a bunch of years, and always up and down.
Wow, you lost a lot.
Yeah, 175, 180,
Good job.
depending. I got to drink a lot of water. And let's talk about a diet. What's a good diet for athletes? Or diet for anybody.
So I could talk about this for hours, but
So you're like a dietitian
right.
too.
So first of all, you got to get high fructose corn syrup out of your diet, and it's in everything. You know what I mean? You got to watch out for genetically modified food, which is almost everything. You got to eat fruit, vegetables, and meat. Quality meat. You don't want to eat meat, don't eat soy protein. All right? You can find protein supplements other than soy. Soy is 90% genetically modified in the United States. Watch, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying all this. You know what I mean? But so is corn. 90% of our corn is genetically modified.
Well, another thing I'd like to, I'd like I'm going to put it out there. I mean, smoking's not good for you either. And nothing wrong with telling people try to stop smoking.
Right.
Is that I know it makes a lot of money.
So
Yeah.
nutrition plays a key role in athletes. And athletes that are younger and through high school, the majority of them do not have a good diet, right? The kids that come to my gym, I give them a nutrition packet, and I try to help them learn how to eat right, all right, because it makes a difference. You know what I mean? You should be getting a gram of protein per day for every pound you weigh, you know?
Are you a pro sports fan?
Yes.
And who's your favorite teams?
Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah, we're 0 for 4.
I
We
know.
know that. We know that, but we've been there 4 times.
I
That's
can't
okay.
believe you
so I
lost.
better shut up now.
Well, Giants. That killed.
You're a Giants
That
fan.
killed
huh?
me, man. No, I'm Philly all the way.
all right,
I didn't want
all
they beat the last second field goal. Oh, no, you missed the
Well, we
field
know
goal.
all about that. So
Yeah. Well, he had a pencil. Jim Kelly from out
Yeah.
Western PA. He was a great quarterback. And rest
Went
in
to
peace.
East Brady High School.
East Brady, which is
My roommate in college knew him.
Butler County. I know it pretty
Yeah,
well.
that's just north of Pittsburgh.
And
south of Edinburgh.
Marv Levy. He seemed like
Yeah.
our rest in peace. But anyway, what a great guy he was, and a great coach, and 0 for 4. And you're getting close, though. You're getting close. But growing up, and you don't want to hear people complain about the cold weather either, where you grew up.
I love snow.
Yeah.
Give me 2 feet of snow down here. I'm going to the supermarket.
Since I moved back in 2015, DELCO, we have not really been hit hard at all by it. It's unbelievable.
Better knock on wood.
I know. I mean, snow is better than ice. So, Barry, anybody else you want to give a shout to? Some of the guys, the players over the years?
All those track coaches I had, Scott Bailey, Brian Wethy was the throws coach, Dave Stewart did an awesome job. Dave, you still have the state record, 3:12.76. Rich Nicholas, great job with the cross country and the distance runner. Mike Hopkins, Bob Williams, God rest his soul. He's the guy who hired me, who got me coaching track. Jamo Atkins, Jeff Brown.
Daniel Patica told me that.
Danny coached for a while. Danny Patica coached for a while. Who am I missing? You know better than me.
No, I know. Did Corey Sheridan help you out there?
I don't think Corey coached track. He coached something else, I think.
Paul Dixon was.
Paul Dixon was a football coach.
Right. So how was it working, working with Coach Banks and of course Tommy Mann?
As coaches, like,
I'm surprised you didn't help the football program.
well, it was like, honestly, we would argue a lot because we wanted certain kids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if they were a basketball player, they're going to play basketball 12 months of the year. Well, no, we got track practice right now. What do you mean? Or even we have the district meet coming up, and you got the Hero Bowl. You got to be kidding me! No, don't go practice football right now. We got to win the state meet. So, did we argue a lot? Yes.
So respect.
Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say we were always respectful.
Tommy Mann, was he?
Did we almost get in fights sometimes? Yeah.
You
we
and
were
Tommy
crazy.
Mann? You and Tommy Mann? Really?
Yeah.
He was. I don't know how. He looked kind of calm on the
No,
bench.
He was because Tom was older, and Tom laid down the law. So we didn't. If he said that kid ain't doing this, he's not doing it.
The kids
But
loved
when
him.
Tom wasn't the head coach anymore, then it became Craig Mellon.
Yeah, Craig.
So we would fight over kids.
Wow. Yeah, rest in peace, Jordash Allen.
Oh.
Yeah, what a great guard he was. Great player.
Yeah.
Michigan. He was from Michigan. I don't know if he did any track back then,
I
but
don't know if you remember the name Troy Trice. Troy Trice, he won the long jump, placed in the 200. Indoor, he won the long jump, was second in the dash. He helped us win a state championship.
all these records, by the way, if you go to PIAA.org and go to there's an archive section, hit track and field, a lot of stuff is on there.
Yeah.
So you have to,
So if you go to what?
PIAA.
Archive?
Yeah, I can actually try to do it right here, Barry.
No, I know we still hold the record for the most points scored in a state meet.
PIAA. Yeah, you hit the PIAA and then you go to sports. After clicking sports, you're going to click on, let's say, spring sports. Then you can click on individually track and field championships. And then there's a section at the bottom. It's called Championship Results Archive. And you click that on.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I check it out all the time. And then there you go. And then it has championship results going way back. And if you want to, like we can go a few extra minutes here. I can look for it. Give me
87. What does it say for 87?
87. All right. Well, you know what? They don't have that. You can't click it on. Or wait a minute. There you go. My bad. All right, 87. It had it gives you AA. It starts with AA girls, and then we have to go to AAA boys, obviously. And doing this live on CMP Radio.
Do they have every event there?
Yes, every event.
And then the schools
There's
would be at the
Big
end,
Spring.
probably.
Yeah, the high jump AAA boys. In 87, Uniontown, a kid from Uniontown won a pole vault.
What were the scores?
Oh, the scores of the meets. I
Might not have it.
don't. Oh, there it is. Glen Mills and Ben Salem tied at 30.
That's
87.
that was right.
Yeah, javelin was won by a kid from Pottsville.
Where's shot
There's discus Marty.
Perkins through 179.
Yep, it's incredible.
1.25.
Shot put, Glen Mills, Marty Perkins, and Wissahickon. As I Penwood. Yeah.
Go to 90.
Okay.
Go to 96.
Right now I have to
See
go
what
back here.
96 says.
Yeah. Let me go back here. This is just an amazing website, PIAA.org. I do it for basketball a lot. They have all the chronology. 96, you said?
Yeah, 96.
96. Click it on, and then,
What were the scores?
yeah, let's see, the bottom scores. It's amazing what you have here. And there's Glen Mills with a total of 86.
So that wasn't the record. So that means 97.
Yeah. But you had guys.
We had Isaac Jackson then. I believe. I think
Glen Mills, look, the shot put, your top three guys.
we went 1, 2, 3 in the shot put. They changed the rule on me, and I was only allowed 3 people. So I got mad, and we went 1, 2, 3 in the shot
Peter
put.
Govins won it,
Yeah.
96. David
Stocker was
Stocker.
second. Damian Jones was third.
See-
And then the discus.
Well, you had Boris White, long jump, second in the state,
Yeah,
Glen
I
Mills.
still talk to him.
Glen Mills, 1,600 meter relay, state champs. Let's see, AAA 32.
Is that when we go to that?
There's your 300 meter hurdles.
That was Ricky Beckford. Go to the 4x4.
4x4 would be.
1,600 meter relay.
Let's
Just
see. Was I?
right there.
There you go. That was Hatboro
No,
Horsham.
that's 1,600 meter run.
Relay.
Relay, it would be the
Hurdle-
last
meter
event, probably
hurdles.
before the field event.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's unbelievable here what you can get on the PIAA.
PIAA.org.
Yeah, PIAA.org and
All right, so
keep.
that's how I can get all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That's good
and then
stuff.
so yeah, I mean we could go on and on and on.
Forever.
So did you? A lot of people don't know about that. You can get all
That's
that
good
history.
stuff.
Yeah, they've done a great job. So, and I have archives myself. That's why I found out that's a great article in you in 2000. I want to give a shout to Frankie Lynn. It's Friday Fight Night featuring Chester's Pro Boxer. I wanted to ask you about boxing. Coming up on August 4th at the Clarion Hotel. That's out in Essington. Doors open at 6, bell time at 7. Tickets $65, $75, and $100. Number 610-969-8119. It is presented by RDR Promotions. Frankie Lynn. Do you know him?
No, I don't.
You know any boxers?
Yes. I trained Mike Stewart for a while. You ever heard of him?
No.
He's been inducted into the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame. He fought for a world championship before, but I wasn't training him then.
Right. Did you know what Dan Malarkey? We used to
I
have
don't know him.
Must Fight Boxing Club was right across the street here.
No.
And then they moved out to Upper Darby, so I wish they stayed here. I did a show for him, a PA announcer for the show. So, again, Frankie Lynn, August 4th, boxing at 6 p.m. is when the doors open, bell time 7 p.m. out at the Clarion Hotel, Industrial Highway in Essington. Final word from Barry Swanson, the legend here tonight, and anything else you want to get out there.
No. No.
Did you enjoy the show?
Pardon me?
I'm glad you came out to the show. I really.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed. Like, you're a stat guy. You know all that. So that makes me remember things.
I get help though. I mean, you have to sources.
I mean, we got to look it back up. We don't remember that stuff anymore.
Yeah, and I try to.
Now I know what I can go to the. Like, I have all the programs and I have all the results, hard copy.
Right.
But they don't even make hard copies anymore of the program and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's exactly. PIAA.org. You click on the sport championship, and then you look for that little archive, PIAA archive, and then it takes a little bit of clicking here and there, but you can find stuff. And I can help you out if you want to send me on Facebook. And so you're on Twitter too?
No, not why.
Instagram.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, what's the advantage of Instagram? I don't get on there that much.
Instagram, if I make a post on Instagram, it goes to Facebook. But what's good about Instagram is that I can see how everybody else is training. You know what I mean?
Nice, yeah.
Whether it's track, whatever. And you can find anything you want. PT stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Yeah.
It was great to have you on. Barry Swanson, legendary Glen Mills boys high school track and field coach, state champs. He won 6 PIAA state titles outdoor and total of
11 indoor, 7 outdoor.
And now at the Padua High School. Is it Padua?
Padua.
Padua.
No, not Padua.
Oh, man.
That's all right. Padua. Let's see how many years I lasted.
It's a girls' school.
It's all girls.
Yeah, that's out of Wilmington, and you've been there for
13 years.
13 years. And they won 11 state championships.
Yeah, and don't forget we had COVID, so we won 12 outdoor and 11 indoor.
I forgot about that.
I believe that.
That's out of my mind. But yes, that is unfortunately part of history right there. All right, Barry, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We'll see you again. Dave Burman, thank you. Jean-Pierre for everything. JP Bryce. And we're going to sign out right here on the DELCO Sports 360.com. And we're going to give a shout again to the Friday night fight featuring Chester's pro boxer, August 4th, 2020. Frankie Lynn. Boxing's a tremendous sport. Clarion Hotel, 76 Industrial Highway in Essington, 19029. You really don't have to. It's right off the Industrial Highway. It's what, 5-10 minutes here from Chester here. Doors open at 6, bell time at 7 p.m. The ticket's $65, $75, and $100. More information, 610-969-8119. Well, Barry, since we have a little bit of extra in the summer, what you just work at the, you're
work at my gym. I
train hard, win big, and then when do you? Before you know it, it's going to be fall sports season. What do you do for that?
Nothing. I get kids ready for their sports. So every season, the kids that come to my gym change because of what season it is.
What basketball? Let's talk the Delco at Delaware County. Have you trained any basketball state champs and football kids?
Now you're really making me think.
Just like you have kids from Chester, Chichester, wrestlers.
I've had Chichester kids. I had Donahue from Chichester. No, Sun Valley. Donahue. What's his first name? I trained him for years.
You mean Vinny D'Angelo?
No, Donahue was his last name. He was a Sun Valley wrestler.
Oh, wrestling,
He made it to
okay.
regionals several times.
Yeah, they had a couple. Hunter Kaka won back-to-back state champs, or 2 out of 3 years. Hunter Kaka for Sun Valley at the heavyweight level.
Where's he at now?
He's a Virginia Tech.
Okay.
He's a
beast.
He was. And you work with.
He didn't even go to school there. He was homeschooled.
At Sun Valley.
And he trained with his dad.
Oh, wow. And his younger brother. Boy, it goes so fast. It goes so fast. I'm talking about kids that I covered. You're talking about kids that you coached 40 years ago. I wonder if we're going to be doing this in 20, 30 years. But as long as you can go, you say.
You never know.
Yeah,
Got to stay alive, right?
Yeah, that's what. Just live every day and keep it going. All right, Barry. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm Dave Burman, Barry Swanson, DELCOsports360.com. Everybody have a great week. This is a great thing that John Pierre does here, CMP Radio. Lots of programs, 24/7 music, some of the best music around, and we'll see you next time.
All right, so what's the radio station? Is it FM?
Is that, yeah, CMP Radio. Yes, cmpradio.net.